So both my grandmothers were students at Genoa Indian boarding school. And for me, I knew so little growing up. No one talked about it, the history or anything. I didn't really hear about it, I think, until I got older. And then I knew very little because, of course, nobody, again, it's not in the history books. Like, no one's talking about what happened to our children, in our histories. So as an adult, I start learning more.
Can you hear me? Name's Nathan Phillips, and I'm on a prayer walk from Genoa to Macy, Nebraska right now. This is the boarding school survivors memorial walk. And I'm walking for my mother, Dorothy Hastings, and all the survivors of boarding school. We got a lot of attention on those that didn't come home, and this is what this walk's about also. But we want to celebrate them that did go and got through it. We don't really look at them as graduates. We look at them as survivors. And that's something we'd like to change, yeah? Get things right around here. The treaties and stuff that we have with this United States of America. If those treaties were right, all our nations would be good. I said one time that healthy indigenous nations would make a healthy America. And I also say that what happens here in America, what happened to us, they don't care until it starts happening to them.
For starters, my name's Alicia Phillips. I'm from the Omaha Nation in Nebraska. My father, Nathan Phillips, is leading this walk and had this vision for this walk. And right now I think I'm really feeling inspired and supported by our community for coming out and joining us for this walk. Being back at the Genoa Indian School, a lot of histories were there, and hearing what the families went through sending their children out there, from the way that they were forced to send their children out there, and those children who hadn't made it back home. Being in a space like that can be really hard and really sad. And as my dad has said, he feels a lot of the pain from those children being back in that school. But I think this has been a good way to kind of reframe and remember that school as a time for our community to come together and heal. And right now I think I'm just feeling very grateful for our community for coming out and supporting us.
Aho, my name is Jason Sheridan, and I am a member of the Omaha Tribe. I am the chairman of the Omaha Tribe of Nebraska. This walk here, I'm participating to help get closure for our people, as well as all those the ones that were supposedly left there, so they could help them, maybe walk with them back towards our homelands on the northeast part of the state. I have relatives that were there, but I don't know their whole story as to how long and what happened with them. But just participating to help assist with the closure of our Omaha ancestors that our spirit was left behind over there. Well, how I feel about this walk right as of now is that I think it's something that we need as a people for our tribal members as well as other tribal members. As I was making my way over here this morning, I and my wife were discussing this region here and our relatives that would wander off from this place, just exactly what they were going through and what they had to come across. Of course, the land wasn't this way when it was back then, but as of right now, the way they had to survive to get home. I guess my wife was telling me that her grandfather was here and it took him 8 days to get home, or 7 days to get home. And I don't know how old he was at the time, but he was very young, and he walked back to our reservation from here. So being that, feel really good about this as we're walking. Maybe back then our relatives might have made this part of this track. Maybe they didn't, but I feel good about doing this for my relatives, and like I said, and for my own health too. Also, to know that my people are going home now, and that's how I feel about this walk.